Welcome to the MFS Wellness Podcast, a hybrid structure encompassing health, fitness, self-improvement, and entertainment, where no topic is off limits and all opinions are graciously welcomed.
Let's get on with the show!
And now, here's the host of the show, Mike Sinopoli.
Welcome to the MFS Wellness Podcast. I am Mike Sinopoli, certified nutrition coach, consultant, counselor, call me whatever you would like. On this episode, I am discussing fast food and all the trash and garbage around it. And when is it okay to eat? What do you think? What's real? What isn't? What are we doing with fast food here in our society? For me, my personal opinion here, it's ingrained in our society as accepted, but it shouldn't be. To drive through somewhere to get some pre-made, reheated food and leave, eat it in your car to quickly move along within your life is not the best way to eat regularly. It has become so normalized and so accepted in our society that just driving through a restaurant in the middle of the day to get a burger, fries, and a drink is as normal as looking in the mirror before you leave the house or starting your car. It's just literally nobody bats an eye at it. And it's unfortunate because we were always eating poor quality. And we know that. The quality is not going to be great here at these establishments. You talk McDonald's, Taco Bell, Burger King, Carl's Jr., and whatever you kind of consider fast food is up in the air. I've had this debate with others. What is fast food? To me, it's really anything where you have a drive-through, where you walk up to a counter and grab it. Occasionally you can say things like, Chili's, chain restaurants like that, Fridays can be sort of fast food-ish, but it's not necessarily. To me, it's just fast food that's you sit down and eat, and it's maybe a little higher quality, marginally. But I'm not going to touch on those too much. I'm more or less talking about the quick service type places. What we have going on right now is inflation, as we know, and has been going up for years with fast food. It was 20 years ago, you can get a McDonald's in 2002. You can go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac for about $2, a little over $2. Now it's closer to $5. So in 20 years, a Big Mac's price is about doubled, if not more. So I will tell you a quick story. I don't eat at fast food very often. I will occasionally. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be. I'm not a preacher. I'm not telling you what to do. But I ended up at McDonald's recently for the first time in several years. And boy, I felt terrible being there. I was with my kids. They have been sucked into society's obsession with McDonald's. I don't know what it is, what those arches do, what the food does, if it's the Happy Meal, I don't know, but they won't go anywhere else even, they don't look at Burger King, they don't look at Wendy's, they don't care, they just McDonald's. It's got the Disney syndrome or the Disney effect. Like it just draws kids in and just sucks money out of people's wallets. So anyways, all right, full disclosure, I went to McDonald's and I said, all right, we were in a hurry. Occasionally it does happen. It's better off to plan food. I normally would never pick this, but we did go. And I said, all right, I'll eat. I went and got a Southwest salad, a small fry, and a bottle of water. And it was over $10. Okay, so first of all, let me explain this salad. It was literally a bowl of lettuce, and they structure it where there's a little top on it and it has like 4 compartments with like beans, corn, chicken, and what do you call it? Those tortilla strips or something like that. You throw that in and you add your dressing in, and it was not very good. It tasted like something that I would have gotten from like a freezer section or something, obviously. So this is McDonald's. There's no shock to you. That plus a small fry and a water. So I was also very hungry when I left. So I spent $10 on this shitty food, and I was hungry by the time I got home. It did not do a thing for me. So McDonald's is going back on my blacklist. It was blacklisted for, I believe, 8 years before I've gone back, and I'm ashamed that I did, but here we are. So anyways, that's another thing I want to get at is not so much the quality of the food being terrible as far as taste goes and our health and nutrition and all, but the value is no longer there. Like, I get it. Okay, you can drive through and get a meal for $4. Okay, and it fills you up. Fine. That's not good for you, but once in a while, if you got to do it, go for it. However, now it's no longer affordable. There is that was $10 itself, as well as, if you get a Big Mac meal at this point, you're nearly $8 to $9 as well. I looked at the pricing and such, and it's out of control, and the quality's gone down. Not that that's even surprising at these types of places that they even had high quality anyways. But I had a Southwest salad many years ago, and it was much larger and much more filled with ingredients such as chicken and things. There was like a whole chicken. It was basically a whole chicken breast of sorts that was laid across the top of the salad before. This is, I'm going to say, about 10, 12 years ago, maybe a little longer. But now there was a little compartment of chicken, and it was about the size, I'm going to say, of like a silver dollar. It was tiny. There was like no protein in this thing. I didn't look at the macro. I didn't care. I just said, I'm going to eat something. But it's gone so far downhill. They're giving you less and charging you more. And these places are just destroying us health-wise. And I really encourage people to put some value in yourself when you decide to go to these places. If you're regulars here, your body and you are worth way more than what they're serving you here, what they're glamorizing, what they're making accepted as normal. Okay, this is not normal to do. It's normal because we are in a bubble and they say it's normal. You're not supposed to eat this food. It is the bottom of the barrel. This isn't just McDonald's, of course. I'm talking about the vast majority of quick service fast food, and unfortunately, it's happening everywhere where the prices are skyrocketing, the quality is going to pure garbage. I don't think fast food should be consumed more than a couple times a year. And, there's always the exceptions. Now, Panera is a fast food establishment in my eyes. They have drive-thrus now. You just go up, you order, and you pick up. That's fast food. You can grab a salad there, and you can check the macros, and it does work pretty well. There's a green goddess salad dressing on the side, chicken added. That isn't too bad. However, it's still, after I grab a drink, pay tax, and all that, and it's like $16, $18 for a salad. And I'm spending around $200 to maybe up to $250 a week in groceries for my family of 4. So if you do the math, if you go back to the McDonald's meal that I ordered, the sad meal that I ordered and felt like a fool eating, that was $10. Okay, if I eat like that 3 times a day, I'm going to be hungry all day. Doesn't fill me up. I'm going to be protein depleted because there wasn't enough there. And I'm spending $30 a day now on fast food. And that equates to $210 a week if I went ahead and eat 3 times a day, 7 days a week out. And that's the cheaper end of things. And it's still expensive. And that equals my grocery bill just for me that I spend on my family. So even with all the price increases that are going on for food, you are still doing better by purchasing food from your grocery store than you are eating out, especially at these fast food places. Okay? So one great thing you can do for yourself financially and for your health and for your waistline is get away from fast food altogether. Just forget about it. Put some pride into yourself, into your being, and say, I don't need that crap. That stuff, I'm above that shit. And you say it. You say you're above that shit. I'm not putting anybody down that eats it, but even if you do, I don't think I'm above you. I think you're above that food. Okay, so when I say that you're above this, and that's not me preaching from a higher pedestal and telling you that you are beneath me and I don't eat this, so I'm better than you, that's not what I'm getting. I'm telling you as nicely as possible that I think you are above that fast food meal that you're about to go drive through and get. Okay? So I just want to instill that. When you think about it, I want you to go through the drive through. When you're in that drive through or before you go in there, think about yourself and have some self-worth and realize you're better than this. Plan some meals, bring your food, take some accountability for your health, and it's going to do a ton of things. And also, if you do drive through somewhere because you're starving, you're on the run, you're doing things, you're working, you're in outside sales, you're in between clients, whatever it is. Look, it happens. You're going to have to drive through somewhere maybe, but just do your best when you do. And don't hate yourself for doing it because of what I just said. I've done it. I'm not perfect. And I'll probably end up at some point doing it again. I won't feel good about myself, but it's going to have to happen. So take it all that way. There's no shaming here is what I'm getting at. The only thing I'm shaming is the shitty value and the crappy food and the dog food and below dog food ingredients that they put in some of this stuff. So, and then they charge you for it out the ass. So the profits are nasty. And let me tell you, your government, I don't want to get all preachy about politics here and things like that, but they don't care. The FDA doesn't care. The government doesn't care about your health. They care about the bottom line. They're just willing to neglect your health for the sake of profits. They don't want you to die. There's not a conspiracy to kill everybody with foods and sugars and processed foods, okay? All this stuff exists for convenient purposes, for long shelf life, for profit, and for continued eating. That's why we have processed foods that don't satiate at all. They don't fill you up, so you keep eating, okay? So they're going to give you that as cheap as they can and in as much quantity as they can, as often as possible. That's sort of where they're going with this. Same thing goes for a place like Subway and places like Panera, like I said before, that advertise themselves as healthy almost. Like Subway has gotten this rap for being this health place when they had that pervert, that pedophile Jared, who said he lost a bunch of weight eating Subway and walking. So I don't know about that. I'm sure you can. If you're macro counting, you can probably throw in a Subway sandwich every single day and do that. There's so much more to whatever that guy did. And I don't really care at this point. Nobody even looks at Jared anymore because he's in jail for being despicable. But at the same time, going back, Subway, there's no magic about Subway. It's not even healthy. It's a bunch of old vegetables sitting on trays with stacks of cheese and processed meat and bread that supposedly isn't even bread. It's a concoction, a science project, and there's nothing healthy. And they give you chips and a drink with it. It's nothing special. Subway. It is not. It is literally a sandwich short on protein. It is too much lettuce, too much bread, and a bunch of old vegetables. Forget it. It's not healthy. It's not just healthy just going there. Like if you're sitting there between McDonald's and Subway, and you're like, I think I want to be a little healthier, you might not be being any healthier going to Subway. It has that illusion. It's that marketing that they put through. Same thing with Panera. You can destroy yourself there. Trying to think of some other places that are relatively, they try to advertise themselves as healthy, but you could see it. All you got to do is look at nutrition labels and facts, and it'll come to you, and you'll see it. I strongly suggest if you are a person who is working outside in the field or even in an office or in a blue-collared industry, and you're regularly going out to eat, and you're concerned about your health or your appearance, I think starting to get into a habit of bringing food with you in a cooler of sorts and whatever works for you. If you're in an office and you have access to a microwave or a toaster oven or something, there's options for you there. It just takes planning and change. That's all. It's and find other things to look forward to. If your excitement for the day is where you're going to go eat for lunch and that's it, that's where we want to start thinking about, hey, I should find some other forms of excitement in my life and passion, rather than just looking forward to this meal from 12 to 1 while in between sitting and staring at a screen for 9 collective hours. That's probably a change you want to go ahead and implement. Before you even go ahead and join a gym or something, just ditch the fast food habit and start planning your own meals. They don't have to suck. You don't have to bring a bunch of plain chicken and rice and broccoli. You can make something you like. And that's something I help with for people is figuring out their lives, how they work, what's realistic for them. So, and that's why I like to get very individualized with everybody, because somebody that's an outside sales rep versus somebody that's an in-office, staring at a screen accountant is going to have a different structure to how they eat and different habits. And not only that, not just their work life, but their personal life. They're allergens. They have preferences, So there's all that. Now, I would definitely consider that hiring a coach of sorts, someone like me, to help you structure that. If you're confused, if you don't know what to do, that is something I do for clients. Like if for instance, if I got a client that's running around all day, a realtor or a outside sales rep or something like that, I'm not going to put a plan together for them that requires them busting out a grill in the middle of the day and start making ostrich burgers for themselves. We're going to figure out how to hit their macros, hit their calorie deficit or surplus, wherever they're at, and do it so that they can do it around their lives, do it around their work life, without having to drive through a place and eat something less than ideal that's going to make them feel like shit. It's poisoning their insides and just kind of keeping them in that hamster wheel of life that we're kind of throwing in. To me, I see it as a giant bubble, a matrix, if you will, more of a system set for us, whether that's intentional or not, or we just kind of fell into it. But we just live in a society where we are just kind of structured. Like if you follow the system, you go to school, you go to college, you take on a bunch of debt, you incur, I don't know. But anyways, you take on a bunch of debt. And then from there, you start your life out as a young 20-something-year-old in debt, and you have to go and get a job, and you usually have to pay your dues, and you're overworked, you're underpaid, and you're falling into debt, you're falling out of shape. That's usually when things change for you too, and your metabolism is in your early to mid 20s. And that's how and then you start with medications and then things like that, and then you're 8 to 5, 9 to 5, you're in that hamster wheel. You don't have to be there. You don't have to do that. You don't have to fall into debt. You don't have to. I strongly suggest making sure that system works for you. It does work for some people. I'm not saying it's something set up to make everybody dead and dumb and on pills, but I think that sort of is how it ends up playing out for a lot of people. When you follow the system, especially if you're getting a job that's in white collar, sales, marketing, something like that. They want you to get these degrees, have this bachelor's degrees, and these jobs require it for that. And I'm getting a little off topic here, but it's all part of a big system, in my opinion. So you get the job. The job requires the bachelor's degree, but then you never really use anything that you've done from the bachelor's degree for the job. It just doesn't apply. You learn on the job. Some will say that it just shows that you can accomplish something, and then they like to see that, I guess. But is that really worth falling into six-figure debt on student loans for your life? I don't think so. So I strongly suggest anyone that's unsure of their career path, I would not go to anything specifically at a university and pay and take on loans for that. I mean, that's just my opinion. You can find a job that will do tuition reimbursement. You can start finding jobs that pay well, that don't require a degree. I think it's a very good idea to do that. And at the same time, once you figure out what you're doing, you figure out how to eat right around that job. It sounds irrelevant probably because you're just focused on what you're doing, but finding out how to eat right with your work life is a huge, huge factor in staying healthy. That's the cycle. That's the cycle. If you think about it, then most people's day is wake up groggy, go have coffee, whatever that might be. Some people just drink black coffee, which is great. Other people, they might get their big sugary drink from Dunkin' or Starbucks and start their day off like that. They go to their office or have a crappy Danish or a muffin or something like that. That's probably 450 calories. Then from there, they get to do their fast food lunch, and they leave and they go home. They drink some alcohol and have a dinner and snack and sleep and do it again. That's kind of a cookie cutter work day, week kind of cycle that probably would be better off broken if possible. Again, everybody's different. This is just my opinion of how it is. So with fast food, and to close this thing up a little bit because I'm rambling long, it's gone up in price. So the excuse of, well, I can't afford to eat healthy because of this, so I have to go to McDonald's, is not a valid excuse anymore. It shouldn't have been before, but I get it. Financial situations are what they are. But at this point, it's mathematically true that you can go ahead and purchase foods from a store from a grocery store for the week and spend less than you would eating out 3 times a day. So, for instance, carbs are cheap. You can buy an economy-sized box of rice and a big 5-pound bag of potatoes that'll last you for the week, and I don't think you'll spend more than $10 on that. Definitely, probably less. So it's probably $8 for the week, and just potatoes and rice if you wanted to go with that. Meat's getting a little more expensive, as we know, but again, for $18, I can probably buy my chicken for the week, something like that, and everything else you want to piece together. So that's a way I help people get off the fast food wagon. Stop with the whole acceptance of a meal is a value with drinks and chips or drinks and fries. It's a value. A value meal is literally a sandwich, chips or fries, and a drink. And depending on how you structure that, it's terrible for you. Over 1,000 calories, maybe more. Depends on what you get. So that's something that you're doing regularly and you're struggling with your weight. That is definitely a habit to break. So at the end of the day, keep it very minimal. Unless you really truly love something fast food related, keep it minimal. Once a month at most, I'd say. For me, it's 2 to 3 times a year I'll grab fast food. That's probably where I'm at right now, which is a huge improvement of what I used to be and what I used to do. So I can be proud of that. I'm happy about it. I do feel better about it. I do feel crappy when I eat at these places, and I don't want to feel that way anymore. So if that's you and you're struggling, you know where you can find me on social media. It's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and the handle there is at MFS Wellness. I'm available by email, mike@mfswellness.com. So shoot me over anything you'd like. I'm very responsive, always happy to talk. So hate mail, love mail, questions, comments, concerns, whatever. I'm happy to discuss. Thanks, and we will talk to you on the next one.